Been in this fight since I was 6. Then I met a hot chick named Bix, but I'm a rebel, little tiny rebel. Ever feel like you're gonna die, hugging a stranger next to a blind guy on a beach somewhere? Would you even care? Oh, Bix, hottest of the Star Wars chicks. Why'd you have to fuck that guy under the ferric sky? Oh, Bix, hottest of the Star Wars chicks. Why'd you have to fuck that guy under our ferric sky? First met Bix and I kissed her. Forgot about the quest to find my sister for like 10 years. Now she's turning tricks, hanging out with the space grandpa. Mon Mothma's freshly single and she's looking good. What was I doing again? Oh, Bix, hottest of the Star Wars chicks. Why'd you have to fuck that guy under the ferric sky? Oh, hottest of the Star Wars chicks. Why'd you have to fuck that guy under our ferric sky? Oh, Bix, hottest of the Star Wars chicks. Why'd you have to fuck that guy?
Hold on. What do you mean they?
There's two of them. Two humans, heavily armed.
Point taken. We'll split up. Take positions. Pick them off when they come through. Rifle! Let's go! Left flank, right flank! Shit. We're under siege. They're everywhere. Sir! Is that you, sir? Liberties and courage, so forgive me if I'm a bit hasty. It's Milana 1, still here.
Just speak clearly.
Indeed. Been a bit rugged for me lately, but, you know, we're marching onward. It's a smelter. Refueling. Should give us a moment. Andor, HQ night desk. He found me this afternoon and he told me that... Mother!
You were talking about Andor.
Yeah, she's passed away. No, I'm in Milana.
Where is Andor?
Yes, that's it. He might show up at the funeral. I knew you'd want to.
With MakingStarWars.net.
Now, George is very reserved about these things. He thinks in dollars instead of like creatively most of the time. So, I don't think it's the right time right now. And as John has mentioned, on Solo, everything came together. The stars aligned, and here we are. It all happened.
Hi, I'm Jason Moore from MakingStarWars.net, and you're watching a show called The Making Star Wars Show.
Jason!
I'm on Milana once, sir!
Whoever smelter! Delta!
How's everybody doing today? How are
Little
you, Rob?
smelter jokes! Little smelter jokes, Jason! It sucks in here!
Yeah.
Is that cereal you're eating? Is that your mother? Are you up stalking women again? God bloody hell.
Space Karen was that trending today? I'm gonna take ownership of it. But oh, by the way, a bunch of the songs from the show are on Spotify and Apple Music now, under Fandom, FANDUMB. That's just the group, the band, the man, the whatever. And then the show's a podcast as well now. So it's on all the podcast platforms. It's on Spotify with video. It's also on Apple and all that stuff. So you could get this as a podcast if you can't listen to it or watch it on YouTube for whatever reason. You could do both. Do both, you weirdos. I don't care what you do with your time. But anyways.
Those clips play way differently when you just hearing them, huh, Jason?
Right? Right. Hey. But yesterday I played Fortnite with Bespin, and for like most of the day, he was just playing the game as Mosk. I'm like, all right, I'm going in here. He's like, okay, sir, good shot, sir. We're on the seat, sir. Constantly, but he does it. He does it perfectly. He sounds just like him. It's pretty good. But yeah, so let's briefly, I don't know briefly, but let's just go over the Indiana Jones news of the day. Empire Magazine had an article that come up today that shows a couple of cool things. If you like Indiana Jones, there it goes. Empire's world exclusive. Now we're not even back to exclusives. We're up to world exclusives these days. So you can see when it comes to cinematic treasures, there are a few more valuable than Indiana Jones. What? For decades, Harrison Ford's archaeologist has been the ultimate movie hero, a Nazi-bashing history buff with a taste for adventure, a vast knowledge of ancient relics and real human vulnerability. Even the very image of Indiana Jones, fedora on his head, whip stowed on his hip, has become shorthand for old-school, rip-roaring blockbuster thrills. Ever since 2008's Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Indy has been absent from our screens, retiring to the great movie vaults, or perhaps the sprawling Raiders warehouse. But if the Indiana Jones movie has taught us anything, it's that a real treasure never stays buried, and he's not ready to belong in the museum just yet. Okay, so it's a lot of trying to fill up those words. Mangold's providing him with a fresh new batch of allies and enemies, and pitching him into a whole different era of history. Inside, you'll find the very first look at what the top secret film has in store, with a deluge of exclusive images, as well as world first interviews with stars Harrison Ford, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Mads Mikkelsen. See, his name is Mads Mikkelsen. That's not short for Mad Mardigan, Willow. Shawnette Renee Wilson and Boyd Holbrook. Director James Mangold says writers Jez and Johnny Henry Butterworth So writers, Jez and John Henry Butterworth. That's a good name, Butterworth. And producers Kathleen Kennedy, Frank Marshall, and Simon Emanuel. The adventure is only just beginning. Get ready to uncover the most exciting movie of 2023. So then we have a cover of Indiana Jones looking like he's meeting you in an alley for sex. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what this stance is.
Don't kink shame Indy.
I'm not kink shaming him. I'm just saying, like, I'm here for adventure, and he has a different definition of adventure, I think. But yeah, it's a good cover though. It's a good cover. And this month's subscriber cover finds Indy in 1960s New York City, bathed in golden light, an image inspired by the film and illustrated exclusively for Empire by Sam Hadley. So it's not concept art. This says January 2023, and there it is, him showing up in New York City. So
New York City.
Yeah. So all that, and this issue uncovers plenty of other cinematic jewels too, with the huge 2023 preview. That's got Ant-Man and John Wick and James Cameron and all kinds of Hollywood with Babylon and Kate Blanchett, and you can pre-order a copy. So that's pretty much not really a lot to glean from it, other than we got shit coming, right? And then this image popped up, which I don't see on the site there, but here we have Indy, and he's looking like, uh-oh, don't go in there. Don't go in the airplane bathroom. You don't know what is that an airplane in the water or a boat? It's just a boat. That must be that.
It's
That
a
must
boat.
be that's what's his name's boat? Probably Antonio Banderas' character's boat. Probably could be all kinds of
Probably.
boats, but we did see him like getting on that boat and then they go scuba diving. You know, probably just as buddies, as adventure buddies. Maybe I don't think they're looking for anything. I think they're just doing adventure buddy stuff. And yeah, I've been
What if that's the name of the movie, Adventure Buddies?
Indiana
What
Jones,
the fuck?
Adventure
Like, oh yeah,
Buddy.
we're going way corny with this shit. We're going Cornish.
Adventure buddies. We've
Yeah.
got Cornish.
Yeah. By the way, I want to read the quote. I talked to the actor who played, most of you will know as the actor who played Nyan Nem in Return of the Jedi,
Well, there we go.
Mike Quinn, and he plays one of the two big guys at the end of or at the beginning of the newest Andor, the fishing boat guys. You know, the fishing guys who catch Andor in the net, and
Yeah.
the character's name is Dewey. And he's all he said, Jason, I'm the big guy, the one with the Cyclops eye thing who did all the talking. So that's the same actor as Nyan Num, Mike Quinn. It's
Oh,
pretty
nice.
good. Yeah, I like that guy. He's a nice guy. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Good puppeteer. Oh yeah, that's right, sir.
Did you thank him for giving Andor a ride? Like, did you
No.
talk to him like in lore?
No, they
No?
hate it. They hate it when you like. Well, I asked him. I said, "How'd you get so fat?" He's all, "What? I saw you in the show. You got real fat. How'd you get so fat, Mike Quinn?" And then he blocked me. No, I'm kidding. Mike also played Nippet, the baby Ewok. Nip it in the bud. That's what we say around here.
Good
But,
B-52 song.
But yeah. Oh yeah. Should we? Well, okay. So let's look at I'm going to pull up the covers for the show. If you're on the podcast, sorry, but there's the cover of Indiana Jones looking like he's in a Duran Duran video, which also ripped off Indiana Jones, so it comes full circle. And then here's the concept art, or not the concept art, but the painting looking one. It's a beautiful cover. It's really good. But
Still have no fucking idea what this is about. Like, if there was a Godzilla in there, then I go, okay, Indy Godzilla. But I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just don't understand.
Well,
this is kind of scaring me at this point. Like, I feel like they've learned no lessons from Crystal Skull. You know, like they're doing that real vague thing, and it's like, come on, guys, it's not so fucking important. Like, give us something.
I don't know. I don't think anything wrong with Crystal Skull has anything to do with this one on the marketing front. I don't think so anyway. But I talked to somebody at Lucasfilm. I was like shaking him. I was like, "Come on, tell me everything, you son of a bitch!" And they weren't really budging. But the one thing I took away from it, I was just like, confirm it's fucking time travel. And they're like, "You want me to lie to you?" So I don't have anything else on that. That's all I got. But I at this point right now, I'm like, it doesn't sound like it's time travel. I mean, they could have just been fucking with me because they, were like, shut the fuck up finally about that. They were telling me everything about everything else, but Indiana Jones for some reason was like, well, not gonna talk about that. Whatever. But point being, it doesn't sound like it's time travel, And so I don't know what the fuck it would be, what you could really glean from that. And you watch all the movies, and I watched them all actually the last like month. And when I heard the Abner Ravenwood thing, I was like, well, I watched Raiders. Then I just watched Temple of Doom because why the fuck not? Love Short Round.
Why not?
And then like Last Crusade, there's that rumor that Fedora is Abner, so that was like my incentive. And then I'm like looking at that, and I'm like trying to look, and I'm like, does Indy become a Knights Templar guy? Is he in the Brotherhood now? That like he was, you know what I mean? There's just something with that. But
do you think he's gonna start wearing a fez? Like he switches the hat for the fez? That'd be
I
great.
don't know. I almost like imagine like that brotherhood has like people from all over. Like there's probably one with like one of those giant babushka hats. I don't know what a babushka is, but I call those things giant babushka hats from Russia. I imagine they're like all over, but I don't know. Not sure. But anyways, I was hoping that maybe we were gonna get a title. But would they release a?
It's too
Would
vague,
they?
Jason.
Would
I don't
they
want to be
save
the
it for
party
the
pooper.
Avatar trailer? Will they save it for the Avatar trailer? That's obviously going to come.
If they don't have the title of the movie in the Indiana Jones trailer, then I mean, I've been super positive on all the people making it, but I mean, the marketing, I don't know, man. Like, it's gonna be hard to root for a film you don't know the fucking title. Like, it's just when they take it too serious, you know? Like, that's where it's like. I remember the story Jon Favreau was telling about when he went to ILM to do, you know, post effects on the first Iron Man film, and he's walking through the hallways, and some guy was working on one of those jungle sequences from Crystal Skull, and he like threw his body over the screen so it was hidden, you know? And it's like, it wasn't anything to hide. Like, I get what you have to do at work, but it didn't care. It's too vague, man. It's too vague.
Matt says it's called The Book of Indiana Jones. Son of a bitch. No, it is. I mean, if they just don't have the title, that would be one thing. A bunch of fake titles came out, and then he acted like he had a title. Mangold did. Also, I didn't put it on the screen. I don't think I'm going to bother, but I'll just paraphrase it or read it if I can find it real quick. Somebody put a bunch of fake leaks up again, more stuff, you know, from the trailer or whatever. Mangold says once again, not true. I already said there have been no screenings, and the photos from the D23 teaser. Have some faith. So I appreciate him not letting it spiral out of control into complete mediocrity with the online grifters in that way. You know, I think that's kind of cool. You don't want to go too far, because then, like, you know, eventually, like, every time like a leak comes out, people will be like, hey, is this real? Is this real? Is this real? And he's not at a point won't be able to say anything. And then
he did that to Umberto back when Deadpool 2 was coming out. Umberto was saying they were shooting a Wolverine thing, and he's like, no, for oh, it was in Logan. It was like they're shooting a Deadpool thing, you know, that's tied to Logan somehow. And he's like, it's not. I'm not doing anything with Logan's got nothing to do with it. And they did. They shot like that teaser for Deadpool 2 that played before the movie. So like, it's like, all right, like he can be cheeky that way, where it's like, yeah, he's not in the movie, but they shot an exclusive teaser for Deadpool 2 that would only be played in front of Logan. Like, so yeah, he gets that way sometimes.
Yeah. Meg hopes the next movie has a better title than The Rise of Skywalker. You mean you want a better title for Skywalker Rising? That's what it's going to be called. Episode 10, Skywalker Rising.
Indy Rising.
Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy is producing everything. If anything comes out of Lucasfilm, she's a producer on it, just by the very nature of being the president, I think. President producer.
Well, you want Paycheck to produce it?
No, I don't know. Well? I mean, she produced all
Dar
of them.
Lopez. Like, what is the alternative? You know?
Well, I mean, if you've liked any of the Indiana Jones movies, she's produced every single one of them, so it's really all the same.
And her husband shot second AD, or first. You know what I mean? Like on all the Indiana Jones films, like all of them. It's like,
right?
I don't know, man, dude. It's just, I get. You know, maybe that's just a part of us getting older, Jason. But like, when I hear the youngins talk about like, I don't want this person ever producing and then simultaneously go, Lucas should be in charge of everything. Like, I don't see the consistency in that argument. You know?
Yeah. Well, it has nothing to do. Kathleen Kennedy is far from a creative producer.
Right.
I would say she's a critical producer and a greenlighter.
John Peters
and
was a creative producer. John Peters would be like, put a mechanical spider in Andor.
Point.
Those are the parts they're making.
Yeah, she's not Kevin Feige. She's not like, you know what we're doing next, you guys? The Clone Wars. And this time, she's not doing that. People are coming in, they're pitching to her, and she's going, we're in the business of making a movie with you. And sometimes that's going to work really well, and sometimes it's not. One of the things I love a lot, I literally this week, without being specific, watched one of the best Star Wars things I've ever seen in my whole entire life, and one of the worst Lucasfilm things I've ever seen in my whole entire life in the same fucking week. And I gotta say, it's bittersweet. There's something magical about it. There's something infuriating and magical about it at the same time. You know what I mean? I what can I say? I mean, I'm glad it's not all cookie cutter. That's the positive side of it. Everything's different. Nothing's the same. Nothing's rolling the same. Nothing's feeling the same. It's always kind of like, what are we gonna get? What's next? So it is what it is, girls and boys. But my buddy Bestman Bulletin, he's on Marlana One, sir. Says Andor episode 12 has a post-credit scene. Read what it is here. So, by the way, before we get into that, my favorite thing in the whole world are people who police spoilers but don't know what the fuck they're talking about, making shit up, already know the answer, but they want to hold it against you because they're stupid and they just want to be tough online. And anyways, yeah, there were people giving him shit for this right here. I had the story the other day that just shows the leaked blue picture of Minerva, and suppose like, oh well, no spoilers next time. And I'm like, from that, what do you know? You think she's a Force ghost? Is that was your bet, right, Rob? You're like 100% thinks it's the Force ghost.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's either the cat is a bit ignorant and thinks it's a Force ghost, or is trying to act like he didn't know that bra was gonna die in this series. Like, literally, like, oh, the one who's been dying since the first episode and getting progressively worse to the point where we stopped looking at her for episodes and people are just walking in and out, shaking their heads. You thought she was gonna live?
Maybe Ray was gonna show up and like fucking kiss her and like give her life, you know. But once again, you know, well, why would they get mad? The leaks aren't even that major for Andor. No, they're not. And the thing about Andor, in truth, I feel like the leaks are, the show is leak proof, because a leaker, a spoiler writer, whatever the fuck we are, could never give the subtleties of what Gilroy and his team are writing and directing and putting out there. And the discussion points are strong, and so it's stuff to like discuss, and then we're going to see it executed, and it's going to be really good. It's not like, I mean, no disrespect to like the Mandalorian crew, but when like a Mandalorian spoiler comes out, the execution, you don't know what it's going to be. You can make it way more epic in your mind than what it's going to be.
Yeah, but you can guess Mandalorian plot points within a pretty decent degree of accuracy. You know, I mean, you just can't really figure out Andor.
Oh, really, like, Rob? Is what I do that easy? Is it that easy, Rob? Is it that simple?
Yeah, I've been armchair quarterbacking you for years. You just didn't know it. I was listening to the podcast.
That makes sense.
I armchair quarterback my way onto the show, Jason.
That makes sense. This competes. You're right. You know your shit. No, but my point is like, you know, when we say there's going to be a big fight with a fucking dragon or something, you're like, well, you can make it the coolest dragon fight in the world, or it might be like, stop, you beasts, and then that's it, you know. And on this show, like, you could say like you know, she when she died off screen, it's like everyone's like, well, oh, that's fine. And it's like, no, that's not fine. But it is fine because of what's going to happen. But this person has no idea. When they saw that picture, they had no fucking idea. And they already knew the leak, or they're just trying to police it. It makes me laugh. And they were doing it to Bespin as well. So anyways, Bespin writes,
well, I only like my info when it's totally made up, Jason. Don't give me real spoilers. I need all my fake theories.
Yeah.
That I'm cool with.
You can give Bespin, you can buy Bespin a coffee and throw it in his face. Buy him one and say, I'm throwing this in your face. Do that,
Thanks,
guys.
buddy.
Yeah. Tip
Thanks
him.
for throwing it in my face. I really needed to pick me up.
Right.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
I tried to post it in the chat to like actually help him. Wait. Copy link address. This is how computers work, you guys. There it is. Okay, so I put it in the chat. So if anybody ever wants to tip Espen, there it is right there. And when you do, say, I'm throwing this in your face. Don't say thank you. Don't say, oh man, you brought me years of stories and happiness. Don't say no. Say, I throw this in your face. All right. So earlier this week, a Reddit user by the name of Main Imagination 214. Thank you, Main Imagination 214. Next time, just give it to me in Bespin, though. Come on. Shared an image of Maerva Andor as a hologram taken from Andor season finale next week, as well as detailed a scene we saw this week in episode 11. The user has clearly seen the next and final episode of the series early, likely because members of the press received screeners for the finale earlier this week. The user took to Reddit to once again detail a post credit tacked onto the next week's episode, blah, 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 blah. Okay, the Reddit user wrote, the scene begins with a close-up of a droid assembling the star-shaped pieces what the Narkina 5 prisoners worked on a large platform. The camera pans out, and we see so many of these droids assembling so many of those pieces. The camera moves further away, and we see a skeleton of an immense building floating in space. The camera moves away further. It's the Death Star, still under construction, but already
Jim's
frightening.
coleslaw.
Yeah. I was told the post-credits scene previously, as well as the other events in the final episode of the season, I can confirm that the Reddit user's claim is accurate. And it is, yes. I concur. The reveal of the Death Star shouldn't come as too much of a surprise given how close Andor will get to Rogue One, a Star Wars story next season, and that a report earlier in the year from Making Star Wars claimed prisoners were working on parts for the Death Star. And so that is confirmed. Thank you, sources. Thank you, sources.
It makes no sense. They must be working on the second Death Star.
Oh God. That came up on Star Wars Santa show today, and I'm like, Santa, come on. So,
oh, Jason, I'm building the second pole right now.
Yeah. The second pole right now.
The second pole. Yeah.
Third pole. The third pole.
He's just shucking off little elves down there and storing them down in the second pole, you know? The backup for global warming. I gotta tell you, nothing makes me happier than miscellaneous Santa lore. You know, go as absurd as we can get it. Like, it makes me so happy.
So and then this. So they right there we see like little spider droid thingies, and then right here we see the shot. Hey, a little mosquito in my room. But right here we see the Death Star rings being assembled.
Oh, there it is.
Mm-hmm. Reminds me of one of those things that you put like a marble on, and like it spins around like a coin, you know, and it goes in there and like, hey, I give money to charity.
Mousetrap?
Hell yeah,
Remember Mousetrap?
Yeah,
Mousetrap.
They should do Death Star Mousetrap. That'd be fun. But
way better than that bullshit Monopoly board they made for Boba Fett.
Oh, jeez.
I just remember it was the first time I was super negative on the show, and everyone's trying to be all positive. I'm like, this is bullshit. I know Mark. I worked on this kind of shit. This is the cheapest fucking thing. None of this will have to do with the show. No. It should, but it won't. They're just ripping you off, folks.
Yeah, they were. If you bought that, you got ripped off. Now, the only saving grace to that board was the fact that it wasn't like the full like $30, $40 Monopoly board. It was the, I don't know, $15 Monopoly one. It was like the ones that kids just play and throw in the trash after a couple of uses and lose all the parts. So whatever though, I wouldn't buy it. Seems stupid to me. So here we go. We got some Acolyte news for you Acolyte losers. Cinematographer James.
Can we call them that?
That losers.
I like that. Yeah, I like that.
Cinematographers James Friend and Chris Teague board Star Wars The Acolyte. Oh, and wants another fucking coffee. Can this guy just fucking drink his coffee and get out of our face already? God, stop shaking the coin at the fucking cup with the coins in it at us all the time.
Shouldn't it be cuppa in the UK?
Cuppa.
Yeah, shouldn't it be?
God, that drives me crazy hearing people say cuppa. Yeah. All right.
You're going to have a real bad time when you go to Star Wars Celebration next year.
I ain't going.
All right.
Chris Teague has joined the Star Wars The Acolyte. He said the Star Wars. He's one of those guys. He's like a grandma now. The Star Wars.
I like it.
Go see a Star Wars The Acolyte as one of the series cinematographers, which reunites him with the series writer, director, and showrunner Leslie Headland, who he worked alongside during the first season of Netflix's Russian Doll, a series also created by Headland. Since the Netflix series, it is. I don't know how this translates, but maybe somebody else does. Teague has gone on to join the hit Hulu series Only Murders in the Building as a cinematographer and later a director, and has worked on a series in the past such as Glow, Miss Fletcher, and Broad City. So
love Only Murders.
I haven't seen it, but is there a lot of visual spectacle, or is this going to be like a Kenobi situation?
It's a set piece that they also film in New York. And they do a really good job of the New York stuff. And when they're in the building, it's a fucking building, but it doesn't look like Seinfeld. It looks pretty decent. Like, you know, like it's so,
oh my God.
And when they have done episodes where like they're actually driving out like on traffic in New York, which it's got to be a fucking nightmare to do. And it was done really, really well. So yeah, for a little show, it does a great job.
You just brought it all back right now. Do you remember that episode of Seinfeld where Seinfeld's sleeping with the TV on, and like Larry David's like a spaceman, and then he wakes up and he says something, and he writes a joke down, and then he laughs. Yeah, and then he wakes up and he can't read it.
Yeah, he can't read what he wrote, and he's having everyone to read the paper.
I fucking did that. I fucking did that this week. And you just brought it back right now, and I was sleeping, and I heard an In-N-Out commercial, and in my head popped Luth In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about. And I thought it was really funny, and then I couldn't remember it, and then I was like, "Oh, that's not funny." You know what I mean? But just now when you said
it wasn't funny, but
it all just came back in my head though, and I was like, "Luth In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about." This is why I can't sleep at night. So anyways, so yeah, I mean, I like Broad City. I like these shows. I like Glow, but I don't know how this translates to Star Wars, but who fucking knows? Nobody ever does.
I would say how it translate is he's an actor's director. Like it's because it's very actor driven. These shows, Glow is actor driven. Yeah. Only Murders is actor driven. So if you're looking for someone who can get a performance, good call.
Yeah,
more than say like a tonal thing.
Right. Kate Nash from that show. Her music, she started off as like a MySpace person. Her music is actually really good. Kate Nash actually has some really good music, surprisingly. For one of those like super beautiful like Hollywood people, you wouldn't think, but Kate Nash writes some good songs. I'm surprised, but very impressive.
This is what the bummer is when social media sites do fail, because they generally give people a chance to, get noticed that never would. And so someone who goes, well, I don't like the one anyways, who cares? Well, yeah, but someone was like living off that,
Yeah.
And it just, imagine if you and I were making our living off playing
I remember.
City Heroes.
I was making a living off
MP3.com. They just decided to delete City Heroes one day, Jason.
Sheryl Crow bought that shit, and Sheryl Crow took all my money. Sheryl Crow's the original Elon Musk. She sucks.
She shut down City Heroes? Because I need to know who to go after.
Shut down MP3.com. Took all my fucking money, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, in addition to Teague, cinematographer James Friend.
Just for that, you're gonna cheat on a bike race in her name, right?
Yeah. All I know, I mean, Sheryl Crow's music sucks too, so I guess she needed the money.
Like
James
the first
Friend,
album.
all I want to do is have some fun. Want to fucking
Yeah.
die when I hear that shit. James Friend has also,
Good,
but don't
happy
worry,
memories for Rob.
it'll be in the finale of Willow, I'm sure. Has also joined the Acolyte crew. Unlike Teague, Friend has not worked on this with the series creator Leslie Headland in the past, but worked on the upcoming Willow series from Lucasfilm and Disney. Friend's past cinematography work includes 2 Showtime series, Your Honor and Patrick Melrose, as well as Stan Lee's Lucky Man and Victoria. James Friend's most recent work, All Quiet on the Western Front, is currently streaming on Netflix and is picking up award season buzz. The Acolyte started filming at Shinfield Studios in Berkshire, England, towards the tail end of October, with filming expected to run until May. The series, described as a mystery thriller, will take viewers into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers during the final days of the High Republic, as we follow a former Padawan and her Jedi master investigating a series of crimes committed by sinister forces. Amanda Stenberg.
You just said that like Ted. You just said it like Ted Knight, you know, by sinister forces and the Legion of Stupid.
Yeah. So, and then he goes on to all of the stuff, and then give me a coffee, and he wants you to know he's on Mastodon because Twitter might die. Twitter might be dead.
Yeah, Mastodon ain't gonna solve. Here's a problem with Mastodon. I went to 5 different servers and all of them were full. That ain't gonna replace social media. Because like if someone's trying to find something to go find people to hire them or look for new talent, and they can't log into anything or get into it because it requires a bunch of fucking hoops, and that ain't it. If you're just looking for a safe space to have conversations with 10 people, fine. But I figure social media for creatives is best as a talent show, right? An audition reel. And those decentralized servers where you have to get into a club and go, it's not going to work. It's not
right.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah. I wish, I think that platform would have worked if it just ripped off like Twitter and then had like subreddits inside it that you could like go into that were just those closed communities that didn't, you know what I mean? Like in here, there's just this, and out here there's that. Cause then you could just like join and have your general name and all that. But yeah, like it took me and Bespin a long time to find each other. It was like war. It was like wartime,
Epic should just make the next Twitter called 40 or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clubhouse. Bullshit.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Hey,
but...
why not? So the Internet Kids Club. Like just fucking
Internet
whatever.
Kids Club, right.
Hungry Jack's Kids Club.
I'm pretty sure that's going to get you on an FBI list if you want to enter the Internet Kids Club. So
Matt Walsh is like, sign me up. I'm going to make 6 socks accounts.
Yeah. Was there any more stories for today? I mean, we got the thing. Season 1 finale arrives online. We kind of already covered that. So yeah, I guess we did cover it all. But yeah, so I think we kind of covered all of the major news of the day, unless something's happened that I don't know about. But I'm excited for the end of Andor to come, though. I mean, I'm both excited and sad. I've enjoyed that show coming out every week. I really, in no way, I want everything now. I'm a very impatient person when it comes to stupid entertainment, because why be patient for stupid entertainment? But man, wouldn't it have been great if they had just done all 24 episodes at once? We just got all since it was on me. It'd be so good if I could just watch them all right now. I'd have such a good time. But no, you say no.
I'm not up for that binging 12 hours of Star Wars, and we have to fucking come after each one. We have to do a show, and then go watch another one, and then by the 7th show, we're all dying from like, why are we doing this? No, I don't miss any.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, wouldn't it be cool if they had filmed the whole series and just kept it going for 24 weeks? That would make me happy. Week to week, one a week for 24 weeks.
Tony Gilroy just jumps off a bridge.
Hey, you know what?
You know, what was it? Remember in the IT crowd when the boss just walks up the window and just
I didn't see that.
No, it's good. It's a good shot.
It's good.
Yeah,
okay.
Like that.
Yeah.
Similar. You know what? They just stole it from Kids in the Hall. Remember when Dave Foley did it in Kids in the Hall? He just like, oh, everybody, all right. He walks right up to the window and just
right,
just face, yeah, jumps right out. Yeah, and they did steal that from Kids in the Hall.
Meg says, I can't wait to see Boba Fett, Padme, my mom, your mom, Palpatine, Revan, Jawas, Rey, Kiadi Mundi, and Minan in episode 12.
like Andor opens a door and they're all in that room, right? Like when they did that X-Men cameo and Deadpool 2, they just like used the video footage and like After Effects them all into a room for like the lamest cameo ever.
I mean, I think that kind of thing, I don't think anybody believes that. I don't think the people that are pushing that believe that. I think the people pushing that want to introduce an idea to a very immature audience that watches wrestling. And then when they get a very character, I
watch 90s wrestling. All right.
Fair enough. Hey, fair enough. But if that's all you watch and episode 3, you might be a moron. Let's just be honest. Chances are you're a moron. There's some of you are smart. I have a lot of good friends who Eric who watches the show is a very smart man. He loves him some wrestling, but it's not all he watches. It's not the only thing he watches. So my point is that, yeah, if you like a Star Wars prequel and wrestling, and then you go and you start saying these things, then they get excited. They think there's a possibility that there's a chance. It's like there's a chance, it's like Dumb and Dumber at the end. So you're telling me there's a chance? That's them. There is no chance. Everybody knows it. And then when the episode comes out, they get to go, well, it would have been good if it was about General Grievous. And then the audience is like, yeah, take my money. And then we end up with that. So
it's my favorite scene in Spaceballs when he walks in on Dark Helmet playing with his dolls. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again, sir. That's these guys. They're sitting in their room still playing with their dolls. Like I just want to live out more adventures, with my toys.
Yeah.
It's such a bullshit fucking like lie too. Because like had they not made this show and they had just conjured up a General Grievous show, they would just be taking the contrarian point of, why do they got to keep going back to the well and using things we love? Why can't they make anything? Why can't they just do a show about the rebellion? And it doesn't even have the Jedi. If they would just do that. And then when they do that, they have to go, why are they doing it, not giving us our Jedi? It's a fucking, I don't know, man.
But imagine the scene, dude. Like he comes in, he's like, Laura, I love you. You have my heart. And he's boom, 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 boom. And you're like, oh my God, this is cinema. That's finally
when Oral Nuts gets it, and then they focus on the heart and repeat the loop. So it's do.
See, Eric starts doing Eric knows. He starts doing the Eric, we can agree though. We can agree. You guys are fun, but some of you have played a little bit too much backyard wrestling, right? A little bit too much backyard wrestling has occurred sometimes, just sometimes. But no, I mean, like that's the whole. That's what they're doing though. They're just trying to appeal. I'm joking, obviously, but they're like trying to appeal to those people, and then they're actually trying to upset them. They actively don't care if they harm. They don't love Star Wars. They don't care if they hurt it. They'll hurt it for super chats. They'll hurt it for money. They will hurt their audience. They'll play with their audience for money. It is what it is. I'll take your fucking money. I'll take every fucking last dollar every one of you has, but I'm not gonna fucking trick it out of you. I want true cult level adoration and love. I don't want to trick it. But
trick it good.
Yeah, I mean, I want you all to believe that I am the chosen one, and that the comment is coming, and that we do need these shoes for the end times. Wait, Grievous show for real? No, Darth Lopez. Somebody was another show went sort of viral on social media for a clip. I don't know, Star Wars viral. For a clip where they said Andor's not a good show. The show basically sucks, and then they said that the Andor people need to make a Grievous show, and that'd be good.
It gets even better though, Jason, because they go. They go, it's not a good show. I mean, the acting's good, and the special effects are good, and the music's great, the editing's great. what's the problem here, Jason? It's got
the
women and
nuance
Mexicans.
is good. The setting, fantastic.
It's got elderly women. It's got Mexicans, and it's got strong female leads. That's the problem. What I need is a CGI robot who's basically got space herpes.
The problem is Reva. The problem with Andor is Reva.
Yeah.
Her proximity to it. She came in the show before it. It's too close. But yeah, it just, it's funny. I hope they are good spirited about it. I mean, I say stupid shit all the time, so what? You know what I mean? But
you know what I say? You know what I say, Jason? I say, Lucasfilm, I dare you to make that show. Like right now, fast track it. Let's show them. Let's give them what they want. You'll see how it goes. When people are like, oh no, man, I'd like a Venom movie. I dare you to make 2. And they did. Look how that went. Look at the quality of those. I like the Venoms. Shut up. Like, if those Venom movies were MCU films, you'd be hearing nonstop all day long how the CGI is bad and the editing's corny and this feels like a 90s movie. Such they just have a whole, it's fans who have agendas, and this ain't nothing new. I grew up with psychotic nerd uncles who had an agenda too. You know, who used to tell me when the Batman came out in '89, that's not Batman, Adam West is Batman. I'm like, yeah, you're fucking, it's not the same. You could have put Adam West Batman into this movie. He just gets, Jack Nicholson just mows him down, shoots acid in his face and his whole face just melts away. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, Darth Lopez says Andor is phenomenal, but not all Star Wars is for everybody. And yeah, I agree with that. Like with Batman, I don't need all Batman even to be the Dark Knight. I don't mind
Lego
it.
Batman.
I like it. Yeah, or even Batman 89. Like there's
Right.
different ways of there's different stories you can tell and different tones to like tell them. And I'm cool with that. Like I actually appreciate that. I appreciate that within a year's time I get Kenobi, Mando, and Andor. Like these different flavors, these different paced shows and everything. I'm all about it. I'm for it. As somebody who can like somebody who did do backyard wrestling with my friends and was dropped on my head too many times, I can appreciate both. So
Give me a minute, Jason. I got my dogs needs to go outside.
yeah.
I'll be right
Yeah,
back.
take care of business, man. But basically,
Go potty.
yeah, go potty. But basically, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with with Bad Batch in the cartoons. Not my favorite stuff though. Like all in all, like I like the Clone Wars a lot. That Clone Wars was what really worked for me. I like the stories of it. But at the end of the day, I would never think that I would never want Tony Gilroy to make, I don't know, Han Solo and Lando. It's not the right kind of guy for it. Not the right speed. It's not the right narrative direction that you would take that kind of thing. In a lot of ways, the Kenobi series, maybe that could have used a Tony Gilroy, but I would keep Tony Gilroy in the grounded reality of Star Wars as opposed to, as he calls it, the royal family and the space wizard stuff. I would mostly keep him away from that, But yeah, loved Clone Wars too. Me too. I still don't know if I don't know if it's me living in like modern era where all these Star Wars films are coming out and stuff, but I honestly truly haven't connected with the stuff that came after George Lucas left as much as the stuff as when he was there. I don't know if it's in my head or if it truly does feel different. So, but Darth Lopez says, I've always loved Ahsoka. Her arc is the greatest in Star Wars history. It's a pretty good arc. I'm not super crazy about early Ahsoka. I don't mind it. It never made me mad like some people were totally turned off to it and like made them crazy. But there's a pretty good story, a pretty good thing to follow throughout different shows even now. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that interconnectivity of all of these different series sort of converging and telling her story in a big way. That's why I'm like, I'm not sure what to expect from the Ahsoka series. and it being like a samurai show, you know, of her being like, I don't know, she's like a Ronin. This is why I need Rob. Rob, tell me what a Ronin is. But the fact that it kind of goes that way, you know, I don't know. Does that interface with everything else? Will that feel like tonally on or something? Probably will, because it'll be Dave Filoni, but it's going to be strange. Jedi Chris says, did you notice the quad jumper line in the episode? It's similar, if the same as TFA, when Rey and Finn go on the Falcon. Yeah, it's the one that they are going for, and then it gets blown up, and then they go to the Falcon instead. Same kind of ship. And so I'm looking forward to the future of Star Wars television being different tones and stuff like that. I'm curious if the audience is going to be able to not feel like their neck is getting broken all the time. There's really nothing they can do about it if that's what happens. But, you know, if we go from this to the next show being like Mandalorian in February, and it's like, I think most people will be happy to see Mandalorian back. But then, like, you know, all these shows are so different. So that's one thing sets an expectation for what the rest is supposed to be, and then the next thing says, no, I'm this. And for some reason, every single time, the general fandom is confused by it. But how's it going, Rob?
Well, I don't think there's going to be a big tonal change between Ahsoka and Mandalorian.
I think it's going to be more the same.
Yeah.
You don't think the samurai Shogun Ronin thing is going to matter?
No one had a problem with the tone of Boba Fett. It was a stupid story. Had the Boba Fett that appeared in the Mando been in that series, and he was just literally on a John Wick hunt across the galaxy taking over shit, you know, everyone would have been rooting for it. As shallow as that would be, they would have rooted for it. It's him just sitting there doing jack shit.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? We just watched him wax all them stormtroopers, and he dropped the charge bombs on him. And in this one, he's like, whoa, I'm going to go in the back of the tank for another episode.
I know. I was thinking like there were so many things that could have made that feel like a series instead of like a mini series that didn't make a lot of sense. Like, wouldn't it have been cooler if like somebody cool had Slave One, with like an episode where we go someplace new and he has to like get it from like some other criminal or another bounty hunter who's been using it this whole time, and
they weren't even using it.
Instead, it's like just in the garage. Like he just stole
it's just in the
car.
garage in perfect working condition for like 5 years. You know what I mean? Never being used. They didn't strip mine it for parts. They didn't sell nothing. Just sitting there. All of his gears in there right where he left. It's just like the logic. It's like, look, for me to question Star Wars logic, you have to understand, I give Star Wars a giant leeway. Like, so when I'm like, come on, guys, you can't be doing this. You know, like you're just taking us all for suckers at that point. You know, that's how I feel.
Yeah, that's how I feel too, man. I mean, there's some good stuff in it. Not saying there's like you know, I don't hate that show. There's the stuff I enjoy. I enjoy all like the whole Tusken arc and stuff like that, but just doesn't really come together. Not like, and I'm glad we have an Andor and that once again in the same year. You know, but Darth Lopez right now in Los Angeles. The weather app doesn't want to load. I think the world ended. I don't know why, but I was going to tell you, it's 70 degrees here. 70 degrees. It feels cold. I'm not going to lie. I'm cold right now. It might be colder in my room because it was like, you know, probably like in the 50s and 60s earlier. And California, I'm not used to this. Space is cold, Annie. I'm like,
I prefer it. That's why I left. It was 20 degrees out this morning. I'm like,
yeah, that's what Lopez is going through right now. 21 degrees. So you have a degree cooler, so he should shut up, right? I'm kidding. Fred says, I love that Star Wars can break through different media and styles and all lead to the same conclusion. Yeah, I was reading through some of the Marvel comic stuff that I had missed and just like checking stuff out, like flipping through, and wasn't getting into it. I was hoping to maybe I get rehooked in. Kind of wasn't happening yet, and hasn't happened yet. But the one thing that I I looked at like the old Republic or the High Republic stuff, and like I don't like that you have to read a novel and then a comic book to like get the answer from something from like a novel. I'm okay with things being referenced, but it's just too much. I'm not gonna do it. Matt says, I hope Tony Gilroy actually does something else Star Wars after he's done with Andor season 3 and doesn't just say F this, LOL. Yeah, me too. I hope he goes and recharges his batteries. I hope he has something that he feels was so good, or some concept or idea, like Bix and Brasso. Like what are they doing, or something? You know what I mean? Though, like if they don't come back, they might not come
Brasso
back.
House.
Brasso's house. Yeah.
And it's just him, BMO, and Bix trying to gotta make a new way across the galaxy with Bix, BMO, and me.
pick your own Brasso. But yeah, I kind of no, I'm saying like there might have been story ideas or plot ideas that were going to be integrated throughout the season, the 5-season plan. And so like for all we know, Bix and Brasso are, they leave together with B2, right? Is what we think at the end of the series. And they might not come back. They might, but they might not. They might not play into the Rebel history of the next season that we're going to get. I hope they do, but they might not. And so he might have had ideas that might turn into like a mini series. That's what I would hope he would do. Is like that he would do a mini series of 6 episodes of this one thing or whatever, as opposed to just going all or nothing or no. But I'd take anything from that guy that he wants to do. We'll see.
Even if his brother Dan just wants to do it, I'm a big fan of Dan's work. So
yeah,
yeah.
I didn't even take
that
at this
crazy
point.
movie after. Did you ever see the art gallery movie he made? Shit's batshit crazy.
Nah.
It's out there.
Okay.
It's your kind of fun.
Okay.
I don't know if you'll like the movie. I just know I know the setup enough to go, yeah, you should check it out.
Yeah. How about a Jabba the Hutt movie directed by the Greasy Strangler director?
No, I just want stop motion Jabba the Hutt by Guillermo del Toro. That's what I want. You're gonna do Jabba the Hutt, do stop motion, get Guillermo del Toro to do it.
I've never connected with. I like him. But I've never loved any of Del Toro's stuff. I've never.
Cool,
I've never I think he's a neat person, and I like the things, the ideas of the things he does, but I don't ever end up loving it. So I'm kind of always on the fence about that guy. But
Pinocchio's pretty cool. I agree with you. Like Blade 2 is probably the most I liked because it was like an anime. Didn't go far enough in the fights. But
right.
But the dude understands set direction and art design,
Mm-hmm.
So on a series, right? You have to hire on some other directors and writers, And I think like Kevin Smith, when he's working with everyone else, then I think that's when he's at his strongest. Like the Clerks cartoon, the He-Man cartoon really work when he's working with a bunch of other folks. So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Jin Erso looks like women on my mom's side of the family in the movie. And so whenever I see the actor outside of the movie, I'm always like, man, you're beautiful. I always forget how beautiful you are, because in the Star Wars movie they don't play upper looks. They just make her very, and but I respect it. I respect it.
Should call her Jin Soso.
Jin Soso, yeah. Exactly. I'm like, hey, Jin, take a shower, you fucking slob. But so what do you guys think of fan edits of movies? Series like Star Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi, a court fine film for copyright violations? What do you think of fan edits of movies? Well, so here's the big contradiction of me. Is I think when Star Wars is coming in and wanting to be our culture, and in a lot of ways monopolizing our imaginations as children, which is what Disney loves to do, to turn us into customers for life and all that kind of stuff, I don't really feel too bad about talking about the information that comes from that kind of stuff. But when it comes to fan films, when it actually comes to actually taking their actual tangible piece of work and then fucking with it, for whatever reason, that sits weird to me. I'm not even criticizing, but telling anybody they're wrong. I'm just saying what it is to me. You know what I'm saying? And like I always feel like a little bit weird about that. I don't really feel bad about like memeing stuff. I feel it's like when you take like the stuff that they did all the work to shoot and to set up, and then like go like now it's better because like I took out something and changed it around. I don't know. I did the second guessing of the actual work and trying to replace it, but something feels strange to me. I think that's
you literally described the special editions, Jason.
No, that was the artist doing it. That was the auteur theory.
Not the artist who worked on it. It's the guy who paid the bills, but the artists who worked on it were like, I didn't intend for that
he paid
backdrop
and it was his
to have a Yuzum jizzing all over the fucking place. Marquand didn't get a say in it.
They tried to put the Yuzum in and they couldn't do it. So actually, it's kind of their fault. If they had got the Yuzum working in the first place, that wouldn't have happened. So think about it that way. But no, you know what I mean though. Like does that?
No, hey, Jason, you're kind of half right. Kush, he was actually the inspiration for a Yuzum, as he'd actually do some Kush, and then he'd start towing that whole stupid song, and it was pretty ridiculous. So I figured we already had a Muppet. We had a Muppet in Empire, so we put it in the next one with a bunch of other Muppets, and just could never get him to come back for that film. He was really mad about losing his job and everything. I said, but you can come back as a Yuzum, and he said no, so didn't happen.
I heard you came up with the name because when you would tell Richard Marquand to do anything, he'd go, Yuzum. I was like, it's a weird way of saying yes, sir. Is that true? Yes.
Yeah.
Yuzum.
Yeah, I like your version better. I'm gonna put that in the memoirs. I'm working on that.
Yuzum.
Yeah. All right, I gotta get back to having someone else write my book. Bye.
Bye, George. But do you know about the Yuzum? About its like development and stuff, like what it was supposed to be originally?
No.
It was there was this idea that they were going to have the Ewoks. They were like the natural enemy of the Ewoks. Remember the cartoon, the Dual
it's in the Photo Archives book, isn't it?
Probably.
I think it's
I would imagine it is. There's supposed to be these like Ewok eaters kind of thing. And then that got taken out of the movie. That didn't develop into anything, and then became the Dualocs. And then Lucas, there is a Yuzum. The puppet is in Jabba's palace. Like it looks really bad. It looks like a stuffed animal practically, and it's just like attached to the wall. Like there's not even really any. There might be somebody doing this.
Is it just like bolted in?
It looks like it's mostly bolted in. It probably had like a hole so that way somebody could do this with it, maybe. But I'm pretty sure when we see it, it's just fucking just dead on the wall. And so then
look, what I like Adiwan's work because of him completing the special editions the way I envisioned him to be, and his work on episode 4, he's taking out some of the stuff to make it just more the way the special editions were sort of sold to us. So when he took the Dagobah stuff and he actually built model trees, so like to enlarge the backdrop, it's not just a Photoshop painting, it's physical model trees, shit like that. I really like that, So I'm hoping he finds a way to put Lava Man in Return of the Jedi, like somewhere.
Oh no,
somehow.
It was Light Man.
Yeah, I like that. Other than that, the only fan edits for Star Wars that I enjoy is the Arlonauts. They have their own content. That's why when
that's different. That's parody. That's like a whole different thing.
But it actually has a lore too. Like it's surprisingly well, for a parody, it has its own rule set and continuity.
But there's it's like ongoing jokes and continuity and it does. It has its own lore and it's ridiculous and it's awesome. But it's not
like when Luthen's ship had those beams. I was like, are they watching? Like,
I don't know anything about the Arlonauts guys, okay? But I'm gonna assume they never go, this is supposed to replace Return of the Jedi.
No, of course not.
They're not going like this is better now. They're not doing that. I think that sentiment is what sets it apart for me. And then oftentimes, like once again, the Adawan stuff, I know a lot of people enjoy it. It's really fun for a lot of people. And I hope he has fun doing his thing, that stuff, and it's good to him. But like once again, like when you only show 6 X-Wings, but then when you actually show all 30 on screen, it tells a much different story. They don't look like they're really that outnumbered. They look like they're going to do okay in it. So I'm not. The the poetry.
No, because
of
he counteracted that with the Empire actually showing up, and there was like 100 of them, so it was a bit different.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't play when you
yeah.
see the shots. It doesn't play that way. That's not what the emotion.
He's also
goes.
To
It's
defend that,
impressionistic.
he's altering that shot, and so like that was like a learning thing. But I don't even. All I'm saying is, if I have to take a special edition, like I have to accept, because the way Lucas set it up, I have to accept a special edition, right, as canon. I'll
Jedi
take
Rocks.
91 special.
Jedi Rocks is what you're saying.
It's not even close. It's not even close.
Blah blah blah. Okay. Hey, Indiana Jones podcast. Thank you for the super chat. I'm going to be on the Star Wars podcast tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Raiders March Rises. One word: hyped. I'm pretty excited for this Indiana Jones 5. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a crowd pleaser, and that can be good in the moment. I'm hoping it's more than a Force Awakens crowd pleaser, in the sense that it did it and it's like, okay, that was that. Well, what a ride, But I hope it's like a true like real Indiana Jones 5. I feel like I hope it like really brings something to the table and as a crowd pleaser at the same time. That's my hope. But
Logan's great, and that Ford v Ferrari. I mean, I could give two fucks less about Ford v Ferrari, but it's a good movie.
It's a good movie, yeah. Emotional evolution. Take a nap. The show doesn't go anywhere. You can always come back. It's cool. You won't miss anything. Go to sleep. Sleepy time. Maybe you'll come up with a good joke like Luthen in and out. That's what Hamburger's all about.
To say,
maybe you'll do it. Maybe it'll happen for you. But okay. Got wake up my Irish twins, says Darth Lopez. Is that a euphemism? What does that mean? Do you have twins? Children?
No, they grow Skarsgårds out there. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know how like we have Traegers or
he's Swedish.
garden.
I think he's
but they grow them out. Yeah, well, it's Skars. Yeah.
They grow the Swedes and then they import them back to Sweden from Ireland.
Skarsgårdsen, right? That's what they're called, Skarsgårdsen. So stupid. Like
you know what?
Chef, right?
Should I, Chris? Yeah. I'm personally hoping the Velvet Underground do show up in Indiana Jones 5. I'm cool. I'm cool with waiting for the man, and then fucking Indy runs by on the horse. At that point, it's on, because you know what? It can happen. It's appropriate. Now, do I want Metallica? No, I don't. I don't want Metallica, because you know why? They were just little babies. James Hetfield lived in my my city here. Me and James Hetfield, we come from the same place. He was a Christian Scientist, though. You know that? Got a broken arm, couldn't get it fixed. That'll teach him. Rural Farm Boy says, Rob's on the farm I grew up on. Thank you for leaving a nice review for the podcast on the network that you listen to, or on the platform that you listen to the podcast on, Farm Boy. I appreciate it a lot. So anybody who rates the podcast, leaves a positive review, I appreciate it a lot. So thank you. Indiana Jones podcast says, Mangold knows this is his chance to step up. If he delivers a classic Spielberg caliber film, he'll be known as classic Spielberg caliber filmmaker.
He made a $1 billion Wolverine movie. He made a $1 billion Wolverine movie after he had just made a mediocre Wolverine. I mean, I'm going to be honest. He might be the greatest director I've ever seen, other than James Cameron, in that he imagine James Cameron made a shitty Terminator sequel and then turned right around and made the greatest Terminator sequel of all time, like back to back. Like I mean, that's crazy.
There's but there's something about that IP itself that translates to industry love, where he gets Indiana Jones because of it, clearly. But it doesn't seem like the press and just the general audience would see him that way. No one's saying he can't do it. No one's talking shit on it or anything like that. But it's like, no one thinks like, oh, Mangold could be the next Spielberg. But after he does this, I do agree that will probably be a thing that they try to shoehorn him into, which won't be good if he takes. But I hope he doesn't take it, because if he takes it, he will not be the next Spielberg. No one will be the next Spielberg. That just doesn't happen. and he needs to be the man.
Shyamalan.
He needs to be exactly. Fucking Jurassic World guy, J.J. Abrams. No, but it's a curse. You don't want it. But you do want people seeing as I could have been that. I'm not that. I'm fucking Mangold, baby. I'm putting Velvet Underground in Indiana Jones 5 because I know how to put music into things where it belongs.
Well, he's doing the Bob Dylan movie next. You know that?
Yeah, Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
He should be doing the Matt Dillon movie if he had any balls.
Sorry. The Outsiders too.
The Outsiders
brings back Ralph Macchio.
Yeah.
Rise of Ponyboy. Yeah.
It's them today on January 6th where they're fucking trying to get the Capitol.
Yeah.
You know they
got to get all the socias out. Socias.
Yeah. Socias are Dems. Socias are Dems.
Yeah, they're trying to eat all the babies. The socias are trying to eat all the babies.
Cherry's there. She's all like fucking. She's like 300 pounds. She's like, "Games, get the socias. I'm Cherry." Yeah.
They're all popping Alex Jones pills. And shit.
Hi, Jen. They're all drinking the fucking supplements like it's high C, like a fucking big old thing of Ecto Cooler.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. We're gonna call it a show. We did it. It's Friday. Everybody, be safe over the weekend. Don't drink too much. Don't get COVID. Be cool. Stay in school. And watch Star Wars, watch Indiana Jones, do whatever you want with your life. I don't care. But thank you to everybody for liking the video, subscribing to the channel.
No, I got homework, Jason. I got homework for our audience. Yeah, you all need to show up with your 1-page treatment for the General Grievous series by Monday.
By Monday.
Monday.
By the way, my son had a play. I'm going to play the clip because I have it here. Why not?
Close the doors. Yes, sir.
R2 says the chances of survival are 725 to 1.
And that's what I do with our family movies, you know. I couldn't help it. But we'll be back on Monday. If you want to check out the show on any podcast network, if that works better for you, by all means. This is the best place to come to talk to us and to participate in the show. And
I told you.
You told us. Oh, wait. I'm trying to get out of here. And then the Jurassic podcast shows up. Indeed, Mangold should do his own thing. Yeah, I think so too. I think he should do a Red Indiana Jones movie and then keep making his originals. And then maybe in a couple of years come back and do another one. but don't make it your series where that's all you do. That's always a bad idea, I think. But we'll see. I don't think it helped Colin Trevorrow grow. Maybe he wouldn't grow, but I don't.
Made $1 billion. I don't think Colin Trevorrow is hurting.
Yeah, you know what though? Some people get 3 million subscribers and they think that fucking Tony Gilroy should be making a fucking General Grievous series. That doesn't translate to anything. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense.
Actually, $1 billion translates into $1 billion. Jason.
Oh,
I'm not saying it's a great movie. It should make more of them, but this town only speaks in dollars, and so
yeah.
Trevorrow's going to take over the Transformers films next. When this next one fails, and it will. No offense to Joby Harold, but it's already called Rise of the Beast. So, you got 1 foot in the fucking grave on that one. And so when old Trevorrow takes over and we get Solani, or the new Transformers twins, I can't wait.
All right.
See y'all Monday.
So just now, Eric Denton texted me. Thank you, Eric. Experience Willow back on the big screen in a special live event available only in live select theaters. See a live Q&A of the new Disney original series, Willow, an exclusive sneak peek. Get tickets now. So if you've never seen Willow or you love Willow, you can go back and see Willow in the theater. I'll go see Willow in the theater. I'm gonna go to this, but I want to click the link to see. You can get tickets now, it says. And so I guess tickets now. looks like it's showing. All I see is the movie time start on Monday, November 28th. That's all I have right now for it for Willow is Monday, November 28th. So,
okay,
but yeah, I'll go take the kids to see Willow in the theater because why the fuck not? Sounds like a good time. All right, everybody, get your Willow tickets. Thank you, Eric, for the fucking heads up. And hey, Topic Podcast says $3 super chat. Hey, bye, legend. Sending you both good vibes. Thanks, dude. I'll talk to you tomorrow, man. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. And I'll try to be in a good mood. I'll drink some coffee. I'll get crazy, interrupt you, step on your toes, say all kinds of crazy shit. You'll have to edit the shit out of the podcast. It's going to be a good time. And I want to end the show now. I'm going to do it. Here's the button. I'm hitting
It's the end of the show. Come
on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.
Come on, let's go.
It's not about spaceships.